Same recipe, same $100,000, same city. 4 sisters opened the same business, an oolong milk tea shop. 3 years later, Sarah was broke. Emily was barely surviving. Jessica was comfortable. And Lily. The youngest owned all 3 of their shops, a supply chain and a licensing empire. She never made a single cup of tea. How did the one who worked the least end up owning everything? Sarah was the oldest. She believed in one thing above everything else: craftsmanship. She rented a corner shop on a busy street. She spent $40,000 on a premium interior. Handmade wooden counters, ceramic cups imported from Kyoto, a custom neon sign that read, "Brewed with love." She spent another $20,000 on ingredients: the finest oolong leaves from Alishan Mountain, organic milk from a family farm, and real brown sugar imported from Okinawa. She made every cup herself. She stood behind the counter 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. She measured every gram of tea leaves. She timed every brew to the second. She trained herself to pour the foam in a perfect spiral pattern, and her tea was extraordinary. Customers raved about it. Food bloggers posted about it. She had a 5-star rating on every review platform. But here's the thing. No one talks about Sarah could make 40 cups of tea per day, maximum, because she refused to let anyone else touch the process. She was the bottleneck. Her ceiling was 40 cups times $6, $240 in daily revenue. After rent, ingredients, and utilities, she took home about $1,400 a month. She worked 90 hours a week and earned less than minimum wage. She was the product, and the product had a ceiling. By the end of year 1, she'd burned through her savings. By year 2, she was borrowing money from Emily to cover rent. By year 3, she closed. Sarah wasn't lazy. Sarah wasn't stupid. Sarah made the best tea in the city, but she confused effort with leverage and craftsmanship with a business. Emily watched Sarah struggle and made a different choice. She wasn't going to make tea. She was going to build a system that made tea. She spent $30,000 on the shop and kept the design simple, clean, functional, modern. She spent $25,000 on equipment that could partially automate the brewing process. And she spent $15,000 on hiring and training 2 part-time employees. Emily wrote a standard operating procedure, an SOP for every step. Water temperature, 92 degrees. Steeping time, 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Milk ratio, 60-40. Sugar, 18 grams. Every cup came out identical. Not as transcendent as Sarah's, but consistently good. 7 out of 10. With 3 people working shifts, Emily's shop could produce 200 cups per day. At $5.50 per cup, she was pulling in $1,100 in daily revenue. After costs, she netted around $4,000 a month. Emily was free. She didn't have to be in the shop every day. She could take a vacation, and the shop would run without her. She built a machine. Emily didn't sell tea. She sold a system that produced tea. But Emily had her own ceiling. She had one shop, one location, one team. Scaling meant opening a second shop, doubling her rent, doubling her labor, doubling her risk. She was comfortable, but she wasn't rich. Jessica looked at Emily's operation and asked a different question. Why does Emily buy oolong from a distributor at $12 a pound when the farms sell it for $3? Jessica didn't open a tea shop, not at first. She flew to Alishan and spent 3 weeks visiting tea farms. She found a family operation that produced high-quality oolong but had no distribution, no marketing, and no access to urban markets. They were selling to a middleman for $3 a pound. The middleman sold to distributors for $8. The distributors sold to shops like Emily's for $12. Jessica offered the farm a deal. She'd buy their entire annual output at $4.50 per pound, 50% more than they were getting, in exchange for exclusivity. She'd handle packaging, branding, distribution, and marketing. She used $60,000 of her capital to pre-purchase inventory, design packaging, and build a small warehouse with cold storage. She created a brand, Alison Select, and started selling directly to tea shops, cafes, and restaurants across the city. Her cost per pound, $4.50. Her selling price, $10 per pound. Slightly cheaper than the distributor, but higher quality with a story behind it. Margin, $5.50 per pound. Within 6 months, Jessica was supplying 47 tea shops and restaurants. She was moving 3,000 pounds of tea per month. Revenue, $30,000. Profit after warehouse, labor, and logistics, about $12,000 a month. Jessica didn't serve customers. She served businesses. Jessica was making 3 times what Emily made. She worked fewer hours. She never touched a cup of tea, but she still had one vulnerability. She was tied to one product, one farm, one supply chain. If the harvest failed, she was done. Lily, the youngest, watched all 3 sisters. She visited Sarah's shop, sipped the perfect tea, and saw the exhaustion in her sister's eyes. She walked through Emily's operation, admired the SOP binder, and counted the ceiling. She reviewed Jessica's distribution numbers and noticed the single point of failure. Lily didn't open a tea shop. She didn't buy a supply chain. She built a platform. First, she approached Emily. "Your system works. Your SOP is proven. Let me license it." Emily laughed. "License what? It's a tea recipe." Lily shook her head. "It's not a recipe, it's a replicable business model. I'll package your SOP, your training system, your supplier list, your equipment specs, and your brand aesthetic into a licensable format. For every shop that opens using your system, you get a 5% royalty. I get 10%. Emily was skeptical, but agreed. She had nothing to lose. Then Lily went to Jessica. "Your supply chain is your moat, but you're only reaching 47 shops. Let me plug your supply into a network of licensees. Every new shop I open becomes a guaranteed buyer of your tea. Your volume doubles, your cost drops, your margin grows." Jessica saw the logic immediately. Finally, and this is the move that separated Lily from everyone, she went to Sarah. "Sarah, you're broke, but your reputation is the best in the city. I want to license your name, Sarah's Recipe, as the premium tier of the brand. You don't make tea. You don't work the counter. You consult on flavor development twice a year. In exchange, you get a 3% royalty on every premium cup sold across the network." Sarah, exhausted and in debt, agreed. Now Lily had everything. She had Emily's system for operations, Jessica's supply chain for ingredients, Sarah's name for brand credibility, and she owned the platform that connected all 3. She spent her $100,000 on 3 things: legal incorporation and franchise documentation, $35,000; marketing and brand identity, $25,000; opening 2 flagship stores as proof of concept, $40,000. Within 18 months, Lily had licensed the model to 12 independent operators across 3 cities. Each licensee paid her a 15% monthly royalty. Each licensee was required to purchase tea exclusively through Jessica's supply chain. Each licensee used Emily's SOP. Each premium menu item carried Sarah's name. Lily never made a cup of tea. She made the system that made the tea, sold the tea, sourced the tea, and branded the tea. Monthly revenue across the network, over $400,000. Lily's personal take, $60,000 per month in royalties alone. She had no inventory, no employees, no shop to manage. If this sounds like fiction, consider this. It's the exact model behind every franchise empire you know. McDonald's doesn't make hamburgers. McDonald's is a real estate and licensing company. Ray Kroc didn't invent the burger. The McDonald brothers did. Kroc built the platform. Starbucks doesn't grow coffee. Howard Schultz built a system that turns a 15-cent cup of coffee into a $6.50 experience. Replicated 35,000 times across 80 countries. The baristas are Emily. The coffee farms are Jessica. The Starbucks experience is Sarah's reputation. And Schultz is Lily. Airbnb doesn't own hotels. Uber doesn't own cars. YouTube doesn't make videos. Amazon didn't invent retail. Every dominant business in the modern economy is a Lily. They don't make the product. They make the platform that organizes the people who make the product. The person who makes the thing earns a wage. The person who builds the system earns a fortune. So here's the uncomfortable question. Which sister are you? Are you Sarah, grinding 12 hours a day, exhausted, proud of your craft, but broke? Confusing hard work with smart work, believing that quality alone will save you? Are you Emily, stable, systematic, free from the counter, but stuck at one location, comfortable but never scaling? Are you Jessica, clever enough to see the supply chain, to go upstream to control a margin, but still tied to one product, one harvest, one vulnerability? Or are you learning to be Lily, the one who doesn't make the thing, but builds the system that makes, sells, sources, and brands the thing? Most people are playing Sarah's game, labor, while dreaming of Lily's results, wealth. The bridge between them isn't harder work. It's a different kind of thinking. The four sisters started with the same recipe, the same money, the same opportunity. The difference was never talent. Sarah had more talent than anyone. The difference was never effort. Sarah worked harder than all three sisters combined. The difference was what they saw when they looked at a cup of tea. Sarah saw a craft. Emily saw a system. Jessica saw a supply chain. Lily saw a platform. And the platform always wins. Because platforms don't scale with hours. They scale with other people's hours, other people's money, and other people's expertise. The next time you start something, a business, a project, a career move, ask yourself this: am I building a product, or am I building the platform that the product runs on? If you're not following raw leverage, you might be making the best tea in the city and wondering why you're still broke.